So President Donald Trump has just bombed 3 nuclear facilities in Iran, creating a stir all around the world. Social media is just lit up. People's opinions are just everywhere. They support it. They don't. This is MAGA first. This is MIGA first. They support the bombing. They don't support the bombing. Is this war or not? It has just created a massive worldwide controversy. And I wanted to address more specifically here, Trump's address to the nation speech that he did. I wanted to react and analyze things that he was saying in his speech a couple hours afterward here. But before we get into that, I want to just read the tweet that let the world know that he just bombed Iran. Here we go. We have completed our very successful attack on 3 nuclear sites in Iran, including Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. All planes are now outside of Iran airspace. A full payload of bombs was dropped on the primary site, Fordo. All planes are safely on their way home. Congratulations to our great American warriors. There is not another military in the world that could have done this. Now is the time for peace. Thank you for your attention to this matter. So this is what I don't understand. The same country that couldn't nuke their way to peace in 1945 expects themselves to bomb their way to peace. Just like you can't vote your way out of tyranny, you can't bomb your way into peace. As long as the military-industrial complex profits off the sales of weapons and use of weapons, you are never going to have peace. You don't attack other countries and bomb other countries expecting peace. You will always have retaliation. Just like Gandhi said, an eye for an eye will just lead to blindness. You can't bomb your way to peace. That was, I don't agree with that statement by him there. And here's another tweet of him shortly afterward about retaliation by Iran. Any retaliation by Iran against the United States of America will be met with force far greater than what was witnessed tonight. Thank you, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States. Of course, Iran has the right to defend themselves, okay? Let's not forget that. They always use that rhetoric with Israel, with the U.S., or whoever their allies are. And an unprovoked attack. Yes, it was unprovoked completely. Iran never attacked the U.S. at all. Iran has the right to defend themselves. And I mean, how dare a country that just got attacked by another country with nukes defend themselves from an offensive attack? How dare, this is what the U.S. does. They have nukes, they bully people, they attack people, and then say, and if you defend yourself, we're going to retaliate even worse than our unprovoked offensive attacks before. How dare Iran defend themselves, a sovereign country, against a foreign country attacking them unprovoked? And yes, no, threats are not a threat. They're not an attack. Okay. So let's get to the State of the Nation address, or whatever it is you want to call it, that Trump gave just a while after he bombed Iran. Let's take a listen right here.
Thank you very much. A short time ago, the U.S. military carried out massive precision strikes on the 3 key nuclear facilities in the Iranian regime, Fordo, Natanz, and Esfahan. Everybody heard those names for years as they built this horribly destructive enterprise. Our objective was the destruction of Iran's nuclear enrichment capacity and a stop to the nuclear threat posed by the world's #1 state sponsor of terror. Tonight, I can report to the world that the strikes were a spectacular military success. Iran's key nuclear enrichment facilities have been completely and totally obliterated. Iran, the bully of the Middle East, must now make peace. If they do not, future attacks will be far greater and a lot easier.
Okay, I'm going to stop that right there. A couple strong points there that I'm going to disagree with. Iran being the #1 state sponsor of terror. Possibly, that could possibly be true. However, when he came to the comment of bully of the Middle East, Absolutely not. I have always known since my 20s. The U.S. is always involved in wars in the Middle East. Vietnam, the Persian Gulf War, Iraq in the early 90s, Afghanistan, Iraq again, Syria, Libya. They are always at war. And I didn't really realize why until, several years ago. It's all completely to do with Israel and the military-industrial complex. Of course. No, when you have nukes, it basically gives you the leverage in this bully complex where you can threaten, coerce, intimidate, attack, bomb any country into submission, and then basically say, oh, but if you retaliate, they've invaded so many countries over oil, over politics, regime change, pipelines, and yet they call Iran the bully of the Middle East when it is basically Israel and the U.S. doing so much damage, carpet bombing so many countries, creating a vacuum for all these terrorist entities like Al-Qaeda and ISIS that they fund. Then they fund these groups, these terrorist organizations. They literally fund them from the crap that they do. And the military bombing is a success depending on how you look at attacking another country. I don't know if bombing another country is ever a success. In terms of his objective, I guess so. They got, 3 facilities, but bombing is never a success. Let's continue.
For 40 years, Iran has been saying death to America, death to Israel. They have been killing our people, blowing off their arms, blowing off their legs with roadside bombs. That was their specialty. We lost over 1,000 people, and hundreds of thousands throughout the Middle East and around the world have died as a direct result of their hate. In particular, so many were killed by their general, Qasem Soleimani. I decided a long time ago that I would not let this happen. It will not continue. I want to thank and congratulate Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu. We worked as a team like perhaps no team has ever worked before. And we've gone a long way to erasing this horrible threat to Israel. I want to thank the Israeli military for the wonderful job they've done. And most importantly, I want to congratulate the great American patriots who flew those magnificent machines tonight, and all of the United States military on an operation the likes of which the world has not seen in many, many decades. Hopefully, we will no longer need their services in this capacity. I hope that's so.
Okay, so in terms of Iran blowing up thousands and hundreds of thousands of Americans, I don't know that Iran has ever attacked America personally on their own soil. They clearly haven't. I don't know if Iran has necessarily murdered or killed or whoever, any American military or Navy or Air Force personnel overseas. However, it is absolutely unequivocally true that the U.S. is responsible for hundreds of thousands, if not millions, of civilian deaths in the Middle East. Just in these last 20 years alone, 24, with the war on terror, how many hundreds of thousands of Iraqis were killed? How many hundreds of thousands of Afghanis displaced? How many people in Syria and Libya has the U.S. gone in and invaded and murdered? This is just absolute propaganda. And of course, all this Israel stuff that Trump's doing, he is completely just unequivocally, unfortunately, bought off by the state of Israel. That's what happens when you become president. You're owned by AIPAC in that state. Let's continue.
I also want to congratulate the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Dan Raisin-Kane, spectacular general, and all of the brilliant military minds involved in this attack. With all of that being said, this cannot continue. There will be either peace or there will be tragedy for Iran far greater than we have witnessed over the last 8 days. Remember, there are many targets left. Tonight's was the most difficult of them all, by far, and perhaps the most lethal. But if peace does not come quickly, we will go after those other targets with precision, speed, and skill. Most of them can be taken out in a matter of minutes. There's no military in the world that could have done what we did tonight. Not even close. There has never been a military that could do what took place just a little while ago. Tomorrow, General Kane, Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth will have a press conference at 8 a.m. at the Pentagon. And I want to just thank everybody, and in particular, God. I want to just say we love you, God, and we love our great military. Protect them. God bless the Middle East. God bless Israel, and God bless America. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. Oh my gosh. So this rhetoric of wanting peace by threats, really, you're going to get peace by threatening another country. If you retaliate, if you dare even think of doing anything, you're going to be met with so much more bombing, so many more missiles, so much more attacks. You think any fucking country is going to just sit back and go, oh, okay, especially any Middle Eastern country who's just wrought with centuries of war and fighting and division. Inflammatory remarks like that, Warhawk remarks, are not going to ever get peace. You don't bomb yourself to peace. You don't war yourself to peace. This is supposed to be the peace president that MAGA voted for? A guy that's just threatening over and over. We're going to bomb. We're going to attack you if you dare retaliate to our offense. This is just warhawkish rhetoric from Trump. That's absolutely disgusting. This is not... You don't get peace by threatening violence and attacking people. That was just disgusting. And of course, thanking Israel, of course, just showing how Israel first this president is, this war is, this conflict is. He goes over there and just, at Israel's whim, at their behest, and just, oh yeah, it's all about Israel, exactly. Israel's wars is what this president is all about and fighting for. I've absolutely disgusted. This Trump's really turned a lot of people against him, and justifiably so, and you're going to see a lot of division in the MIGA movement here on out. Absolutely inflammatory, war-hawkish remarks by an alleged peace-first president during his campaign. You can say whatever you want during your campaign. Once you're in position, you do what you're told on foreign policy and war. You toe the line. Do what you want in America, but as far as foreign policy goes, as far as war goes, you listen to the military-industrial complex, you listen to Boeing, Raytheon, you listen to the banks, you listen to Israel, and he's doing exactly, he's towing that line right there. Disgusting comments by Trump.